When should kids get smartphones?
Students are prepping for homecoming.
An A-Tech teacher is trying to start a new trend.
And the cheer and dance teams are looking for gains this year.
Hi, I'm Will Allen.
And I'm Kaylee Ephraimson, and you're watching Eagle Zone.
It's a topic where parents and kids might not agree when our kids old enough to have smartphones.
There are groups encouraging parents to wait until their kids are older, and there are also warnings coming from the federal government. Eagle Zone's Brock Anderson takes a look at that issue. Brock?
The U.S. Surgeon General is the nation's doctor. He gives information about improving health and in reducing illness or injury. He's weighing in on the topic and saying that something on smartphones, social media, can be dangerous for kids' mental health. And that's just one source of causing parents to pause.
When it comes to the right age for kids to get a smartphone, it isn't always black and white. Amber Ferrix is a mother of 3 who decided to wait.
So the reason we decided to wait till they were a little older is just because we wanted them to be kids a little bit longer. I feel like when kids get them too soon, it makes them grow up too fast and they miss out on a lot of fun activities where they could be playing outside and doing other things. Instead, they're glued to a screen.
She had friends who were also deciding to wait, and she also came across a Facebook page encouraging parents to wait until their kids are in 8th grade. The page has almost 140,000 followers, parents pledging to wait until that age to buy their kids a phone.
One of the cons that we've kind of recognized is just maybe being left out of things. They don't always get the messages that their friends are getting together and don't always get included because of that.
Student Isaiah Sharp, who recently received his first smartphone, spent his first couple of years of high school with a flip phone.
I think they kind of wanted to protect me in a way. Like, there's a bunch of nasty stuff on the internet. They just didn't want me to have that kind of exposure with stuff, and I think that's the main reason why they waited so long.
Now that Sharp looks back as a senior, he's not complaining.
Not having a phone made me find ways to entertain myself, like playing cards, like actually talking to people, and I think it was a good decision on their part.
But that's the perspective of an upperclassman who now has a phone. The younger kids still waiting for one?
Well, they definitely are not fans. My oldest, he almost every day would bring up, all my friends have phones, all my friends have phones. My daughter does the same, but we just kind of stuck to our guns, and then my son is almost 13 and we gave him one this summer, so we figured now that he's almost a teenager, he can have one.
Going back to social media, the Surgeon General is actually pushing for warning labels on social media, telling parents that the platforms could harm their kids' mental health. If that happens, those warnings could be similar to the ones on cigarettes.
Thanks, Brock. When that story was running, Will and I took a look at our history. And I have 5 hours and 25 minutes on social media in a day. And Will?
Well, I'm not that bad. I only have 5 hours and 20 minutes a day.
Geez Louise, maybe Isaiah's parents were right.
Yeah. The school district is encouraging families to get their kids to school. It's pushing out attendance information on its social media platforms, telling people that missing 2 days of school a month means you miss 10% of the school year. September is Attendance Awareness Month. Those social media posts provide a link where you can learn more about absenteeism and how to fight it.
Homecoming is here next week, and Student Senate has released dress-up days for the high school. Monday is Pajama Day, Tuesday is Tropical Day. For Wednesday, we have Country versus Country Club. Thursday, Patriotic Day, and Friday is School Spirit Day.
There's a lot of working going on behind the scenes to make sure homecoming is a success. Student Senate is making sure they have everything ready before the week starts. As the excitement for homecoming week builds, high school students are hard at work preparing for a celebration filled with school spirit and fun.
Setting up homecoming takes a long time. We spend from when we start school to when homecoming actually happens.
From decorating the halls to organizing events, the preparations are in full swing. The goal is to bring the entire school together to celebrate with pride and enthusiasm.
I just want everyone to come together as a school and to show their school spirit and pride.
A highlight of homecoming week will be the pep rally Friday. Here's a video from last year's event showing athletes and others hyping up the student body. From the band to the football players, you can expect more of that this year, along with games.
And we have a piñata themed one, and then a musical chair game.
It's all about getting everyone involved and making sure the week is fun and spirited as possible. In Aberdeen, the high school, both middle schools, and all 6 elementaries take part in one way or another.
Just everybody getting involved, having students actually participate and just make it fun with school spirit.
And here's a list of what's happening during the busy homecoming week. Monday is senior sunrise in the outdoor classroom at 6:45 in the morning, and coronation is 7:30 Monday night. The throwdown is 8 p.m. Thursday in the gym. The pep rally is 2 on Friday, and the CHS Hall of Fame induction is Saturday night, starting at 5. We'll have a list of sports during the homecoming week later in the show.
When photojournalism students started pushing out a weekly newsletter last school year, a friendly rivalry between two teachers, Eagle Zone's Braden Engelking, gives us a look at flashy day of the week, Tie Wednesdays.
When you first come inside of the A-Tech building, which has labs and shops, you probably won't find too many teachers dressed up until you walk further down the hallway and you meet Mr. Cobbs and Mr. Schaffhauser, especially on a Wednesday.
Tie Wednesday, me and Mr. Schaffhauser, well, I started it, but me and Mr. Schaffhauser dress up every Wednesday.
Well, he started it, and then he kind of invited me, but then I actually had a couple of kids in my class that were in the journalism class, and at the same time, so then they would comment on how I was dressed up on Wednesday, found out why I was dressed up on Wednesday, and then said that they were going to start a spot in the school newsletter where people would vote on who had the better outfit for that Wednesday when we dressed up.
So each week, their Wednesday wardrobe went before students and staff. Results varied from week to week, but who actually won?
I'm not sure, but I feel like I looked the best.
Well, we were tied. We both won the same number of them, but I think Mr. Cobbs beat me in a tiebreaker because one of the times, it was usually a 60-40 split. You know, the winner would get 60%, loser 40. It was usually somewhere around there. And then one of the times he beat me 80-20. I only got 20% of the vote throughout the whole school. So I think he probably got the tiebreaker, so I think we can say he won.
But this year is a fresh start. We don't know if the journalism class will include this segment in a newsletter, but Schaffhauser and Cobbs are already sporting their ties on Wednesdays.
Well, I did go shopping. I went shopping in Illinois and Minneapolis, so I got some fresh duds. And I have a secret place I buy a lot of my clothes at, but I won't tell you. So I'm ready this year.
Here's what I heard. I heard that he is going to be wearing his fanny pack on Wednesdays along with his tie, and I think I would want to vote for him if he wears the fanny pack. So I think it would be very hard for me to win if he sports the fanny pack, because I couldn't pull that off, he could. So I don't know, I'll have to try something else to try to get votes. I'm not sure.
If you know them, this won't surprise you. Cobbs' outfits have had a lot to them, and so have his presentations of the outfits. Schaffhauser's have been more basic, and I didn't get any dancing from him. So who will win this year? We'll have to see what these competitors come up with on Wednesdays.
There's an open invitation for Cobbs for anyone who wants to join Tie Wednesday. Not to throw anyone under the bus, but Mr. Bellify has said for months that he's going to. Talk is cheap. Bellify, we haven't seen a tie yet. We'll be right back after this message created by media production students.
Geek! What a loser. Guy's sitting by himself. Ha ha. No friends.
Aw, look at that little guy over there. He's getting bullied.
I think we should do something with that.
I agree.
What's going on, man? Why are you looking down?
They're looking at me a little weird over there. I don't like it.
Well, that's not good.
Yeah. Welcome back. We have more sports to cover as the fall season continues and game starts to play out. Eagle Zone's Preston Brake has the highlights. Preston?
Thanks, Will. Aberdeen teams have been playing on the road lately, so not a lot of highlights from home games this week. But the soccer teams hosted Sioux Falls Roosevelt at Jean Burnell Activities Complex. We start with the girls team. It's scoreless in the first half and Roosevelt has the ball at midfield, but senior Kira Stillman takes it over, dribbles up the field, and finds the back of the goal. That puts the Golden Eagles up 1, but Sioux Falls scores 2 goals after that to win the match. Now over to the boys' side. It's another exciting game this week. In the second half, the Golden Eagles are down 2 when sophomore Linus Johnson dribbles up the sideline and passes the ball back to junior Tyler Bain, who powers the ball into the goal. Eagles within 1 later in the second. The Eagles are attacking again. Bain has a corner kick, and sophomore Bryson Burkhardt sends this one to the net off his chest. The Eagles had a chance within the final seconds to take the lead, but the game ends in a tie. The boys and girls cross country teams will run at Lee Park Golf Course Thursday the 12th in the Solly Invitational. The races start at 10 in the morning. We plan to have highlights from that event next week. And while we're on the topic of running, we had another state champion from Central over the summer. Gracie Reif took first in the 100-meter dash at the state track meet. Since we don't run Eagle Zone over the summer, we wanted to recognize her as the new school year starts. She ran a time of 12.41 to earn the title. If any girls soccer fans watched last week's show and you've been waiting to see the promised story about the girls team this week, sorry. We had to shift a few stories around, so I'll have that for you next week. On today's show, Eagle Zone's Malachi Bratton gives us a look at the competitive cheer and dance teams.
The competitive cheer team is starting the season strong this year. It even took first place at its home competition.
It's a lot of fun. We have most of the same team as last year, just a couple new girls, so it's fun and nice being able to know everybody and already have like a good, strong connection with each other.
They have the same coaches as they did last year, too, and singer Taya Usselman says the team gets along with them well. The team's competing in pom and hip-hop. This year, Usselman says the team's doing better in pom so far, but expects to improve as the season goes on.
The dances are definitely a lot more fast-paced, and it can be hard to keep up at times, but everybody's doing really good with keeping up, and I think they're going to do really well.
On the cheer side, singer Malia Daughtery says the team's looking better than last year when there were a lot of young and experienced girls.
There's still a lot of young girls, but they had last year, so they're better this year. And we also started earlier with choreography, so now we have more practice time this year.
Daughtery says this year's stunts are harder and the pace is faster, but the dance moves have a similar difficulty level to last year.
I just want to place higher than last because last year we got a lot of last place, so I just hope that we can place higher and get in the 200s this year.
To reach those goals, they're traveling throughout the state to compete.
That was Eagle Zone's Malachi Bratton reporting. Cheer and dance have their next competition on the 17th in Huron. And as Will promised earlier in the show, here's a list of home games during homecoming this week. The soccer teams will play Tuesday and Thursday with games at 4 and 6 both days. The girls play first Tuesday, but the boys have the early game Thursday. Girls tennis will compete in Aberdeen Monday at 2 and Friday at noon. Volleyball is home Tuesday at 7, and football hosts Spearfish Friday at 7 for the homecoming game. We'll see you all there. Will and Kaylee?
Thanks, Preston. That's all for this episode of Eagle Zone. You can always watch our stories by searching for Eagle Zone Aberdeen on YouTube or by scrolling down to the Eagle Zone section of the school district website. That's aberdeen.k12.sd.us.
We leave you this week with a look around Central's campus. Students from the Intro to Audio/Video class recorded that for us. Joey and Zoe will be back with Eagle Zone Live next week. We'll see you the week after that. With Eagle Zone, I'm Kaylee Ephraimson.
And I'm Will Allen. See you next
time.